Excellences, Mesdames et Messieurs, bonsoir. Nous voilà ainsi arrivés au terme de cette 8e édition du Forum de Tana, qui a été consacré cette année aux dynamiques politiques dans la Corne de l'Afrique. Je voudrais à cet égard remercier les organisateurs de m'avoir offert cette opportunité de modérer cette cérémonie de clôture et aussi vous dire combien je me sens privilégiée de modérer cette rencontre, ce dernier panel, d'autant plus que, et impressionnée également, d'autant plus que dans ce panel, j'ai la chance d'avoir à mes côtés Madame la Présidente de la République et Monsieur le Président Dramani Mahama, ancien président de la République du Ghana, où j'ai eu l'honneur de servir mon pays en tant qu'ambassadeur de Sa Majesté il y a quelques années. Je voudrais, sans plus tarder, vous inviter, Excellence Madame la Présidente, Monsieur le Président, de nous rejoindre ici au podium. Je voudrais aussi inviter l'honorable ministre de la Sécurité, l'honorable Monsieur Elly Tumwine, Monsieur le ministre de la Sécurité de la République d'Ouganda, venir nous rejoindre ici sur le podium. Je vous remercie. Je disais donc le sujet de la dynamique politique dans la Corne de l'Afrique, un sujet brûlant d'actualité, certes, comme nous avons pu le constater durant ces 2 jours de travaux, un sujet d'actualité qui a fait et qui continue de faire l'objet de nombre d'analyses, de prospection, de projections, eu égard à différents paramètres, les dynamiques géoéconomiques et géopolitiques engagées et encore en cours dans la région, ce qu'elles impliquent en termes de reconfiguration régionale, interrégionale, voire internationale, et l'impact indéniable de ces dynamiques sur l'intégration de cette région, et l'émergence enfin d'opportunités et de tendances pour la paix et la stabilité dans la région. Il ne faut pas oublier que ces dynamiques géopolitiques et géoéconomiques que nous avons eu tout le loisir d'aborder pendant ces 2 jours s'inscrivent dans un contexte bien particulier actuel. Il y a lieu de rappeler que ces dynamiques restent dans une région longtemps marquée par des conflits et des tensions et qui se trouve actuellement dans une phase d'apaisement, de pacification, grâce notamment au rapprochement entre l'Éthiopie et l'Érythrée, mais c'est une région qui demeure néanmoins confrontée à des risques et défis multiples, tels que la sécurité alimentaire, l'impact du changement climatique, la dimension démographique qui a maintes fois été citée, et l'enjeu de la jeunesse, de cette jeunesse qui a soif et qui est en quête d'inclusion sociale, politique et économique, les mouvements migratoires qui peuvent résulter de ces enjeux, l'enjeu humanitaire qui reste très important dans cette région, le terrorisme, enfin, bref, un modèle de développement qui doit être défini par les différents gouvernements de ces pays afin de prendre en considération ces différents enjeux au niveau national et au niveau régional, une intégration qui soit approfondie, ouverte et dynamique, puisque, comme nous le savons, il n'existe pas de communauté économique régionale qui couvre à proprement parler la Corne de l'Afrique, mais il y a la particularité d'appartenance multiple de ces pays à différentes CER de la région. Donc c'est une région qui porteuse d'espoir grâce aux dynamiques actuelles, qui risque quand même marquée par des risques et des défis et des fragilités, et qui demeure porteuse encore de facteurs d'instabilité, puisqu'elle est encore en transition, une transition dans laquelle interagissent des paramètres régionaux, interrégionaux et internationaux. Nous avons ainsi pu, pendant ces 2 jours, avoir l'opportunité d'assister et certainement prendre part à un dialogue, à un débat franc, ouvert et surtout substantiel sur cette thématique, en tirant tous profit de ce que j'appellerais l'esprit du Forum de Tana, c'est-à-dire la spécificité du cadre de cette rencontre, qui reste quand même un cadre privilégié et inclusif pour des regards croisés grâce à une participation plurielle, diversifiée et provenant de différents horizons, qui s'est inscrit dans un échange pour 3 objectifs essentiels. 1, faire un constat, un état des lieux de la situation. 2, partager des connaissances qui sont tirées de références communes et ou différenciées. Et 3, enfin, pour aboutir à ébaucher des pistes de réflexion grâce à un échange, encore une fois, marqué par l'ouverture et l'inclusion. Pour parvenir, in fine, et c'est là la spécificité du forum de Tana, contribuer à faire émerger, à construire une approche africaine, un point de vue africain, une gestion proactive africaine sur les questions et les défis essentiels à notre continent, qui sont ceux de la paix, la stabilité et la sécurité africaine. Nous avons pu suivre le débat ainsi sur 3 temps, un triptyque: les perspectives de la paix dans la Corne de l'Afrique d'abord, les implications sur l'intégration régionale, consécutivement à ces dynamiques, et enfin la question migratoire et la libre circulation des personnes en tant que thématique, voire problématique, émergente dans la Corne de l'Afrique. Quelques points saillants que je vais essayer brièvement de restituer méritent d'être soulignés et rappelés. Nous avons dit tout à l'heure, nouvelle dynamique dans la région, certes, mais elle est porteuse surtout d'espoir, de solidarité, de paix et de sécurité durable qui répondent aux aspirations des peuples de la région. Mais cela n'élimine pas les challenges, les défis et surtout les fragilités qui demeurent dans cette région. Face à cet état des lieux, à ces fragilités et à ces défis, une intégration régionale devient un impératif car c'est la meilleure réponse, et cela a été répété par plusieurs orateurs, pour maîtriser ces différentes menaces. Et à cet égard, le renforcement de l'institution régionale de l'IGAD a été maintes fois répété, ainsi que le caractère davantage comparatif de cette communauté économique régionale a été plusieurs fois souligné et mis en exergue par les différents orateurs. L'IGAD, certes, mais aussi l'Union africaine. L'Union africaine qui s'est investie, qui a aussi une action de plus en plus accrue dans la région, pour que ce nouvel esprit, pour ne pas répéter, paraphraser Monsieur le Président de la Commission de l'Union africaine, que ce nouvel esprit ne soit pas trahi, et je reprends ces mots, en d'autres termes, ne soit pas déçu, et rendre ces changements positifs en cours irréversibles, mais ce qui présuppose quand même 4 points. 1, la consolidation de la confiance dans la région, qui demeure un élément extrêmement important. 2, une volonté politique commune. 3, une démarche consensuelle agréée par toutes les parties prenantes, et enfin un attachement déterminant et déterminé aux valeurs de la démocratie et de l'état de droit. Cette Union africaine doit consacrer bien sûr une large part, et elle s'est déjà déclarée dans ce sens engagée, une large part au renforcement du multilatéralisme pour répondre aux défis de la région et du continent. Et c'est dans ce sens que l'ONU et l'UA, tel que cela a été répété par les orateurs, travaillent ensemble sur des réponses communes à ces défis. Et à cet effet, il y a lieu de mobiliser toutes les ressources, qu'elles soient matérielles ou qu'elles soient immatérielles, pour renouveler une réflexion et produire surtout une vision commune. 3 derniers points sur lesquels je voudrais revenir, 3 ou 4 derniers points saillants sur lesquels je devrais revenir, c'est la complexité de ces dynamiques géoéconomiques et géopolitiques. Mais comme l'a dit Monsieur le ministre des Affaires étrangères du Rwanda, cette complexité n'est pas nouvelle. Elle date, mais c'est une complexité qui change dans une région qui reste quand même de plus en plus sous l'influence du jeu des grandes puissances et des puissances régionales. Et là, plusieurs points ont été cités: le contrôle des routes maritimes, la militarisation, l'exploitation des ressources, etc. Pour répondre à cette complexité, l'IGAD a encore été une fois mise en exergue, car il s'agit de tirer profit de cette CER qui a et qui demeure avoir un avantage comparatif pour une action proactive, et je paraphrase donc l'orateur, une action proactive plus large, plus profonde et plus rapide. Comment l'ONU accompagne-t-elle cette transformation de la région? Il y a lieu de souligner 2 paramètres ou 2 éléments qui ont été réitérés. Elle doit accompagner pour consolider cet espoir suscité et surtout contribuer à définir une lecture et une compréhension commune des enjeux et défis. Enfin, sur les 2 derniers segments qui ont été abordés, l'intégration régionale et la migration. Concernant l'intégration régionale, il y a des prérequis qui ont été définis ou suggérés, c'est-à-dire une intégration plus forte, ouverte sur son environnement interrégional, qui favorise la création de plateformes de dialogue afin de susciter une concertation sur les intérêts stratégiques de la région avec ses partenaires. Cette intégration aussi doit, au niveau de la région, favoriser la définition d'une convergence des politiques publiques qui sont mises en œuvre par les différents États membres de ces régions. Concernant la migration, il a été clairement mis en évidence que c'est un phénomène mondial, naturel, complexe, mais contraint ou plutôt subi par les populations qui migrent et qu'il n'existe pas de réponse unique. Concernant l'Afrique, cela reste fondamentalement un mouvement intra-africain et transfrontalier. Et à ce sujet, le compact migration de Marrakech qui a eu lieu en décembre 2018, même s'il n'a pas bénéficié d'un consensus à l'échelle mondiale, reste quand même un document qui comporte des recommandations qu'il faudrait mettre en œuvre en tenant compte des intérêts africains. Voilà brièvement les points saillants que j'ai trouvé utiles et intéressants de vous restituer, mais qui demeurent aussi des points qui ont comporté un consensus sur 3 points qu'on peut définir de transversaux, des points transversaux de consensus, puisqu'ils ont fait l'objet de récurrence dans les différentes interventions des intervenants. Il y a lieu donc de citer ces 3 points. 1. L'importance de la gouvernance de l'état de droit qui présuppose indéniablement une réforme ou plutôt une révision du lien entre l'État et la société. 2. Le fait de favoriser l'intégration régionale, mais une intégration régionale qui reste ouverte sur son environnement, ce que j'appellerais, par exemple, un régionalisme ouvert et approfondi. 3e point récurrent transversal, c'est la région et le continent dans le monde qu'il faut considérer. Quelle place voulons-nous pour l'Afrique dans un monde en mutation? Ces 3 points ont été très souvent cités et répétés, et surtout, des recommandations ont été faites à ce sujet pour qu'ils soient mis en œuvre au niveau de 3 niveaux. Le premier niveau national, c'est-à-dire le modèle de développement, la gouvernance, une gouvernance inclusive qui pourrait rompre avec les approches exclusivement idéologiques. Le deuxième niveau, qui est le régional, c'est au niveau des CER et de l'Union africaine, et là, la question de la rationalisation, de la mise en cohérence de ces éléments a été souvent citée, et aussi l'exploitation du potentiel de la zone de libre-échange africaine qui a été créée récemment. Enfin, à l'international, l'ONU, que ce soit au niveau des pays, que ce soit au niveau des institutions internationales, afin qu'ils aient une bonne compréhension des intérêts de la région. Voilà, mesdames et messieurs, ce que j'ai essayé de vous restituer assez brièvement concernant ces 2 jours de travaux, de débats interactifs fructueux et extrêmement substantiels. Et sans plus tarder, je vais passer la parole à l'honorable ministre Elly Tumwine pour une brève intervention de 5 minutes avant de demander humblement à Monsieur le Président, John Dramani Mahama, de nous communiquer, de partager avec nous les points qu'il considère saillants, qu'on doit garder à l'esprit, sur lesquels nous pourrions travailler en tant que piste de réflexion pour l'avenir. Je vous remercie, mesdames et messieurs.
Your Excellency, the President, Your Excellencies, distinguished forum members, I'm General Elly Tumwine, Minister of Security of Uganda, and I want to say that this is my first time to attend this forum, and I have enjoyed it from the beginning, and I've learned quite a lot, and I'm encouraged. I bring you greetings from His Excellency the President of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who would have liked to come, but because of previous commitments and schedules, he requested me to represent him, mainly because he says this is an appropriate forum, especially to focus on the subjects of his interest, the security of Africa and the integration of Africa. Your Excellency, I have an association in my country of the gray-haired and bald-headed Members Association, which I started some 14 years ago. And while we were discussing, we were trying to capture knowledge from the old people, and the young people started joining us. And when we had done like 3 months, the young people came up with an idea that instead of only having the gray-haired and bald-headed members, you should also include the young and dynamic. And when they joined, they ended up taking over the forum, and we now call it only the Elders Forum, but the majority are the young people. And our concern has been discussing these very important subjects that we have been covering in this forum: security, integration, development, inclusiveness, and steady progress. Now, apart from that, I have also been in the parliament for the last 33 years. And therefore, I am very happy, and I restrict myself to a few subjects, like security, which I have been involved in for many years. Is mainly 3 words: prevention, detection, and response. Now, when you look at the continent of Africa, the challenge is how prepared are we? How can we prevent the threats that we have? How can we detect them? How can we respond to them appropriately? The other 3 words that almost govern my life are 3 words of all these things are called things. Things are things, whether living or dead, they are things. But the most important aspect of anything is its value. What value is of this forum? Why are we here in this forum? What is the value out of it? And Your Excellency, if you could allow me to call this thing, what value is in this thing, in this forum? But this thing cannot have good value if the 3rd word doesn't come in, which is sharing. Anything which has value, but that value is not shared, then that value is useless. And for that reason, I have been asking many questions to my colleagues there. I said, when we live here, what value have we got out here with, and what are we going to do with it, and how are we going to share it? I have observed that really we have made very good observations. We have surveyed the challenges that face Africa and looked at how vulnerable Africa is vis-a-vis our resilience. Just like the climate change is a threat to all humanity, insecurity of Africa is a threat, and we see it coming. We see it coming. We have identified areas where it has, it comes from. And it is not only in the Horn of Africa as a region, but in all the regions and in all the countries. And therefore, I think we need to look at these threats in 2 categories. There are those which are preventable, which we can work hard, just like we have preventable diseases and none which are not preventable. Most of these actually can be prevented, but others may not be prevented. And some are beyond our immediate actions, and they come from outside. So the challenge that we have is how do we respond to them appropriately? Now, in order to respond for anything you want to do, is how organized, it depends on how organized you are. The future belongs to the organized, and the better future will belong to those who are better organized and disciplined. And it doesn't, and people do not do what they should, because we sometimes assume that when we meet in these fora, when we have papers, if people do not understand anything, they will not do it properly. So I was asking, after all these fora, which you have had, how come that they have not reached down? Because this is a wonderful forum, informal, combining the government, those who are in government, those who have left government, those who are in the different aspects. It's a unique forum. So I would suggest that the most important that goes with that is awareness, appropriate or necessary awareness. And after awareness, I think what is most important, which I have got out of this forum, which we need to hammer, and which is, as I have said, the main concern of our president, has been the issue of integration. In order for us to marshal all our resources and see how we use it for our own, or we strengthen our resilience. And it is not a choice. The question of integration is not a choice, not only for the African region, but for the rest of the world. You hear how it is disturbing Europe. You hear the rest of the world is also pursuing that subject. So it's not a choice. For the security we need to integrate our security resources, our economic resources, our human resources, or as they tell professors that you either publish or perish. We either integrate or perish. Now, on the necessary awareness, I think we should start on how we should make the whole society aware. Not a few of us who manage to come for this forum or attend AU functions and then end with a lot of good documents, good resolutions that end on paper. I would like to propose that this forum, working with all the other African Union divisions and departments, that we create a curriculum to all schools. And we start at the primary level, the subject of discussing the 4 subjects. I would like to share with you the 4 questions that you need to ask yourself throughout your life. Question number 1 is, where have we come from? Question number 2 is, where are we now? Where have we reached? Question number 3 is, where would we like to go? Where would we like to take Africa? And the most important question, number 4, is how do we go there? Those are constant questions in any situation, but which we need to start discussing, all of us, the African people. If we want to go take Africa where we want to take it, we must answer those 4 questions. And in doing so, we should know that we cannot do them in isolation. We cannot talk of security without talking about the economy, without talking about the environment, without talking about the health. And I think if we are to look at our response, we must prepare for any eventuality, come what may, and we find and whatever comes should find us what I would call war. What not for fighting with bullets, but willing, able, and ready. Whatever situation that comes should find us willing and with ability and ready to deal with it. Be it Ebola, be it military or civil conflict, be it drought, be it natural disasters, be it cyber security, which is becoming a very serious subject.
Half a minute?
Thank you. I've been given half a minute. Now, and when we talk about, I just want to summarize by saying that, as I have said, the most important thing is that let's integrate. And on the question of this question of borders, we cannot keep ourselves in limitations of the past. Just one.
Just.
Thank you. The question of limitations of the past. First of all human beings are immigrants. If human beings have been and they will continue to immigrate, you will not stop people moving. They are like water. They will flow wherever there are resources for them. This question of keeping in the old limitations, like we are keeping ourselves in these walls in a box, human beings will go where there is environment for them. And our African goal should be, let's free ourselves of barriers so that we marry each other, we move everywhere, we go where we want, and that's where the future should be. Otherwise, keeping in the past, the young generation do not understand that. They just see us keeping them in boxes. They are connected all over the world. They are international. Trying to box them is a lost war.
Thank you. Thank you, Minister.
And I want to end with a song for you. Just to change the subject of being too formal. When I am happy, I sing. And one of my songs is, oh yeah, Mama Africa. Oh yeah, Mama Africa. oh yeah, Mama Africa. Oh yeah, you Africa. If you were leader of Africa, what would you do for Africa? What would you say to Africa? What would you sing to Africa?
Thank you, Minister, for this nice conclusion. Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Minister, for this nice conclusion. I just talk about, rule of the law, governance, so I cannot challenge you. And on top of that, I cannot challenge a Minister of Security. So thank you very much for this nice conclusion. So let's move quickly to the takeaways and the summary, which will be given to us by His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama. So, sir, humbly, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we're pressed for time, so I'll be as brief as I can. I have 10 minutes to do this. Tana Forum is grateful to all of you for accepting our invitation and spending these last 2 days with us to deliberate on the very important theme regarding peace and security in the Horn of Africa. I believe that sustainable peace in the Horn of Africa will be a catalyst for accelerated development in the whole of the continent. But before we wind up, I'd like to thank the European Union. When I gave the acknowledgements this morning, unfortunately, we omitted the European Union. If there's any member of the EU here, I sincerely apologize. They are one of our key partners, and indeed, for this year, they were the first, to offer us funding for this forum. And so, if the EU is here, we thank you very much. If there's a friend of the EU here, tell the EU that I publicly acknowledge them, and they should forgive me for that omission. Thank you very much. I'm supposed to just give the brief takeaways. Normally what we do is an outline of the forum is ready in about a week from now, and that will be made available online. The actual outcome, which is a synthesis of all the discussions that have taken place here, will be ready in about 90 days. And normally this is sent to key stakeholders and also is available online. And so I'm sure that those who are interested can follow and get the final synthesized outcomes. Ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, we believe that consensus by countries of the region on a diagnosis of the key challenges, as well as ownership over solutions and priorities, needs to be achieved if we are to achieve peace and security in the Horn of Africa. Multilateralism should be a guiding principle. The revitalization of IGAD provides greater impetus for the institution to lead on garnering consensus by national actors in the region, with the AU, UN, and international community accompanying and supporting their efforts. And please note that I said the AU, UN, international community accompanying and supporting the efforts of the national actors. The challenges facing the Horn from extra-regional actors and interests require the creation of a broad, inclusive framework that ensures space for dialogue, cooperation, and collaboration around shared interests in the Red Sea space, in the first instance by the region itself, and then the continent, and then with the Red Sea and other concerned actors. The Horn has been the center of Africa's solidarity. There have been significant and long-standing peacemaking and peacekeeping efforts by the continent and international community. These gains need to be protected and sustained amidst the challenges and changes currently ongoing in the Horn. While we are excited at the current rapprochement between countries in the Horn, we must remember that these are still fragile and require concerted, collective, and coherent efforts to identify and deliver support and investments to priority institutions, address persistent challenges around structural vulnerabilities in country, improve bilateral relations and trust between countries in the region, and the need need to be expanded and institutionally cemented across the entire Horn. The transition within countries of the region will not be durable without concerted and sufficient investments in democracy and good governance, protection of civil society space, and transformation of state-society relations, and support to building country capacities to address any structural vulnerabilities. Consensus needs to be achieved on an analysis of the situation facing the region, as well as shared goals and long-term strategy between all supporting actors is key. There's an imperative to recenter the people and communities of the Horn in discussions and profit solutions, and ensuring that they are the recipients of the peace dividend that we expect to come out of sustainable peace. It is critical to prioritize durable solutions to the displacement crisis, supporting integration efforts which facilitate the free movement of people-to-people relations, and safe migration to ensure that the transition process and institutions associated with it reflect and accommodate change agents, such as young people, the youth, who have been the critical driving force for change within countries in the region. The conventional approach to politics and peace building are being challenged by the rise of social media, which is changing the articulation of politics, access and participation in political discourse by traditionally previously excluded voices, and bringing the governed and governing closer in conversation. This provides opportunities for a new positive and inclusive model of politics, but also as well risk further political polarization, and policymakers need to take note of this. It is an opportunity, but if it's not handled well, it can risk political polarization. Peace and security and integration are inextricably linked. Consolidating the Horn region as a peace zone thus requires greater efforts towards economic and regional integration. Progress on the integration agenda necessitates political prioritization, strategic alignment, and institutional strengthening of regional organizations, as well as a possible Marshall Plan, in quotation marks, which optimizes investments in infrastructural links with regional impacts and benefits. This would require innovative financing solutions and options and strong international partnerships. And finally, not only the Horn, but the whole of the continent, as we were told by Madam President, needs to better own and make use of the United Nations organization. And so these are a few of the takeaways that I thought we should take note of. But finally, I wish to, as chairman of the board of Tana, thank Madam President Sahle-Work Zewde for her support and interest in this forum. It's not easy for a lady like her with such onerous responsibilities to stay with us throughout the forum. And I think she deserves our appreciation. She's been with us throughout, and Madam, we're very appreciative of that. And finally, I want to thank all of you who made time to come and be with us for these last 2 days. I hope this discussion has been fruitful. Tana continues to choose incisive themes that make it possible for us to zero in on the actual problems of peace and security in the continent, and make sure that in the discussions that we have, we're able to make a contribution towards sustainable peace in any of the particular sectors that we decide to discuss. And so I want to thank all of you very much. And how do you say thank you in Amharic? Amasagnalo. Amasagnalo.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. Merci pour cet exposé bref, mais extrêmement instructif et substantiel sur les points saillants que nous devrions garder à l'esprit et sur lesquels nous pourrions bâtir et construire ensemble des pistes de réflexion qui pourraient répondre à ce débat riche que nous avons eu pendant ces 2 jours. Je voudrais à présent, sans vouloir abuser du temps de Madame la Présidente, et si vous me le permettez, partager avec vous 2 interrogations, si vous le voulez bien, que je vous demande donc humblement de pouvoir prendre en considération. La première interrogation, c'est ce vent d'espoir qui a été porté et que nous avons mentionné à plusieurs reprises, de différents angles, par les différents orateurs qui se sont succédés ici sur le podium. Ce vent d'espoir qui est porté par les dynamiques politiques actuellement dans la région de la Corne de l'Afrique. Comment peut-on le préserver? Comment peut-on le rendre irréversible et minimiser ces facteurs de fragilité qu'a mentionné Monsieur le Président Dramani Mahama? Comment minimiser ces facteurs de fragilité, de vulnérabilité qui persistent dans la région? Cela passe inévitablement, comme nous l'avons vu, par l'IGAD. Et donc, à cet égard, comment dynamiser cet espace de dialogue et de discussion, comme l'a mentionné Monsieur le Président, comment dynamiser cet espace pour le rendre davantage proactif? Enfin, deuxième interrogation, Madame la Présidente, et sans vouloir, encore une fois, abuser de votre temps et de votre disponibilité, comment peut-on plaider notre cause, nous en tant qu'Africains, pour revendiquer la place qui nous revient dans le travail et les engagements pris en charge par l'Organisation des Nations Unies sur les questions qui nous concernent en tant qu'Africains et particulièrement dans la région de la Corne de l'Afrique. Je vous remercie.
Merci beaucoup, Madame l'ambassadeur. Je vais essayer d'intégrer la réponse à vos questions. Your Excellency President Mahama, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, so I find myself in a difficult position since I am now the one standing between you and the dinner. So I'm going to be very brief and try to also answer the questions raised by the distinguished ambassador of the Kingdom of Morocco. So, as you know, every good, in fact, bad things come to an end, and the 8th edition of the Tana Forum is not an exception. We heard from President Mahama with the takeaways that he has presented that the 2 days meeting here has been very fruitful, and the deliberations went on very well, and we reached a successful conclusion. Mr. President, let me tell you that I have greatly enjoyed my stay with you. This is an issue close to my heart, and it has been very refreshing to be here. The forum has covered key critical issues ranging from peace, security, stability, geopolitical dynamics, and interstate engagement in the Horn of Africa, to migration, as well as regional integration and multilateralism. The excellent quality of the panelists and the frank and candid interaction with the floor have definitely enriched our understanding of the geopolitical dynamics in the Horn region, Red Sea, and the Gulf region, the impact of the presence of external powers in the region, but also the imperative need for regional integration and the pivotal role that IGAD is playing and should be continuing to do so, and of course, as it has been mentioned, strengthened IGAD. But we really think that in this region, especially in South Sudan and as well in Somalia, IGAD has played a critical role. The deliberations have clearly indicated that the Horn of Africa region finds itself under a situation where, on the one hand, there is a great hope and optimism, as you have mentioned, Madam Ambassador, towards lasting peace, stability, and economic development as a result of the recent political and diplomatic developments in the region. On the other hand, there appears to be a number of challenges that would negatively impact the positive political developments made so far. And to try to answer to your question, I would say that since there is this challenge, as we mentioned and we discussed earlier, one has to clearly understand that there has been a dramatic change in this region, unexpected change. Somebody said it's a tectonic one. And we really have to understand that we are in a transition period. Things cannot be fixed overnight. We are talking about normalization of relations, which has, deteriorated for the last 2 decades between Ethiopia and Eritrea. We can't expect, I don't think if somebody has a magic stick, but we can't expect things to go right overnight. I think the biggest step has been made, and now it's the required action is to really strengthen, institutionalize those, and really move forward. So I really think that in the region we should be, as much as we try to solve the internal problems that each of us might have, we really need to have the regional dimension as well. In our radar screen, at least this is what Ethiopia is doing. As much as we work hard inside Ethiopia, the regional dimension is equally important. I think there is so much we can do if we are on our own. In light of this, as you have suggested in the meeting, during our discussions, the only way forward to sustain the gains seems to build on the achievements that have been made so far by minimizing the challenges and risks that will have the potential to negatively affect the gains made in the past several months. As you have observed, the stability and development of the Horn of Africa region is directly or indirectly closely linked with the Red Sea and the Gulf region. This has been repeatedly mentioned. Peace, stability, and growth can only be achieved when countries on both sides of the Red Sea aspire for mutual cooperation. The recent initiative taken by IGAD on the threats, risks, and challenges of the geopolitical and security dynamics of the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden for the Greater Horn of Africa region underlines the importance of a collective approach to strengthening regional cooperation and to develop a common position to protect the security and economic interests of our region. It is indeed my firm belief that the 8th Tana Forum has been instrumental to create awareness on the evolving political dynamics in our region and its implication beyond. The discussions have generated insights to best nurture the emerging peace trends to sustainably resolve the political, security, and economic development challenges in our region. It is on us to harness these positive trends to the benefit of our demanding citizens. We have also mentioned that other multilateral organizations such as the United Nations and of course our continental one, the African Union, should come in support of the initiatives taken by regions and by the regions. That would lead me maybe to your second question, Madam Ambassador, how we can harness better and benefit better from the United Nations. We have eminent staff or former high officials of the UN who can also elaborate more eloquently. But I think that as much as we strengthen and we are reforming our organization, the African Union, we must not lose sight of the fact that the United Nations, and some of us are founding members of the UN, is also ours. It means that we should be at the table whenever major decisions are made. We should get more interest and understand that our voice can also count. It will be to the benefit of the United Nations itself that all regions are really involved. So I think this is a decision that maybe we can take collectively and act collectively more than we do in the UN fora. Sometimes the UN it's so multiple that we might not have the resources, enough resources to follow everything. But joining our forces and concentrating on some issues, giving some areas to some countries to lead it, will take us a long way in being part of the global movement and global decisions. Let me conclude. I would like to take this opportunity to once again extend my heartfelt thanks and appreciation to all those who have contributed their time and resources, as well as those who have shared their valuable thoughts to the successful completion of the 8th Tana Forum. My first and special thanks go to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the chairperson of the Tana Forum board, the organizers of this forum, their team, the interpreters, members of the press, the staff of the Blue Nile Hotel and the other hotels where delegates are staying, are also contributed a lot to make this event a success and deserve special appreciation. I would also like to thank our partners who have come in numbers and participated actively, and also, last but not least, our sincere thanks and appreciation to the Amhara regional state for their warm hospitality. We should now start preparing the 9th edition of the Tana Forum. In order to have a dialogue in the spirit of Tana, and this is why it has been created, between African leaders, decision makers, and various stakeholders group. It cannot be confined to any of them. It has to bring all this together. This is why this forum has been created. So I would really invite all those involved that, and we will be supporting you, of course, at the host, Ethiopia, that we go back to that and have another successful forum next year. Let me also say that I fully subscribe to the proposal that was made to avoid having an all-men panel. I think this happens everywhere. We shouldn't be an exception. If you want, let's not have an all-women panel as well, but let's mix it. I think that would be good for the interaction. I wish you all a safe return to your respective destination. Do not wait until you come next year to visit and see what this beautiful country has to offer. Please come again, but definitely let's meet next year, God willing. Thank you very much.
Merci infiniment, Madame la Présidente, pour votre intervention et pour les paroles que vous avez eues à l'endroit de ce forum. Je voudrais vous demander de vous joindre à moi pour remercier encore une fois Madame la Présidente de la République fédérale démocratique d'Éthiopie, Monsieur le Président du Forum de Tana, ainsi que l'honorable ministre de la Sécurité pour avoir bien voulu contribuer à ce panel. Je voudrais aussi vous remercier pour votre patience et votre disponibilité d'avoir suivi cette session de clôture. Je vous remercie encore une fois et je passe la parole à Brian qui devrait en principe prendre le relais. Merci encore.
Well, all good things must come to an end. So I'm here to announce two things. Please do fill the evaluation forms. They help us improve the forum. If you haven't already done so, if you want a French one, as I said, if you raise your hand, the Secretariat members would. We are going to go straight into the dinner. So I know that there are a couple of men that need to powder their nose. So it's fine, we understand these days. So I would encourage you to do so somewhere close so that you join us for dinner. Other than that, I would have told you a go-away story, but thank you so much. Why don't we thank our moderator for the closing session for a wonderful job done. In case Your Excellency wondered how I ended up as moderator, I will tell you later on. May God bless you. Vaya con Dios. Hambani gahle. Kwaherini. See you next year. Thank you so much.